Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and it's my absolute pleasure this afternoon to speak to each and every one of you in Fairbairn Consult. As 2021 rushes towards its end, it's a good time to take stock at where we are. And the fact is that the way we live, socialize, learn and work has forever changed. For many, the launch into the digital world has been a catalyst, changing the way they view the future of work. For others, they have struggled to adapt and feel lost in unfamiliar landscape. The financial planning environment, I strongly believe, and having a lot of interaction with many independent financial advisors over the last 18 months, that this is a shift in possibilities that has created an amazing opportunity for us to reimagine the way we do business and challenge the status quo, to reach new heights and really to expand our practices in financial planning. The time has come to stop sitting on the fence and waiting to get back to normal, because normal no longer exists, and neither, by the way, does the new normal in actual fact. The only thing that we should be concerning ourselves about at this point in time is the next normal. What does the future look like in the next year, 18 months, 24 months, 5 years or 10 years even? And many of you are so young and you've got a wonderful career ahead of you. There are 3 reasons why we need to embrace a new way of working. Number 1, what is the world telling us? I've done a lot of reading and I've had many of my support management give me a lot of very interesting insights. But research specifically from McKinsey shows that both C-suite executives and employees themselves want to continue with a hybrid working arrangement post the COVID pandemic. You might feel different. You might feel, let's get out there. All of us are advisors at heart. We like to see people. We miss the interaction. I miss it dearly. I've been working from home. The majority of the time, I'm still working from home. But ladies and gentlemen, the question is, what do your clients want? And if that survey is correct, this means that your clients are changing. For those of you waiting for things to blow over, or for those of you who believe my client wants to see me, you may find yourself left in your competitor's dust. Number 2, don't be redundant. Once again, an article from the World Economic Forum has said that anyone with a job title broker, and I want to just highlight here, broker does not mean IFA specific, but a broker in the general sense across the board, including an independent financial advisor. They said that it will become redundant in the 21st century. They believe that technology is disintermediating broker at a rapid rate. Clients no longer need just a link between an insurance company and themselves. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where I fundamentally disagree, because people buy people. But having a combination will make a huge difference. They need real and genuine advice. A highly skilled financial advisor that is up to date with legislation, embracing compliance, embracing the changing legislation, and with a deep product knowledge. Those are the advisors that are really going to excel, because it's a combination of both. The digital world allows us to manage the time efficiently, to create space for these needs, and to build a practice that is modern, effective, and focused on the key outcome. In the third space, you can be as big as you want to be. And I think this has been something that I've seen over the last 18 months, where young advisors that perhaps never excelled because they were relatively new really absolutely shot the lights out. Sadly, I've also seen some of the more senior advisors, colleagues of mine, going back 30 years when I was a young advisor at Old Mutual, who were battling, couldn't adapt. But the good news is I saw many, even some older advisors that were with me, young advisors 30 years ago, that absolutely excelled. And virtual financial planning allows us to be in many places at once. We can connect with our clients from all walks of life in all areas of South Africa. If you just think about it, we hear all the time about people immigrating, people leaving our shores. Those are your clients leaving, but they have still investments in South Africa. How do you serve them? How do you give them advice? You use technology. And this is where I want to absolutely encourage you to embrace what I have to say. It's a short period of time that I have this afternoon with you. But dare I say, even in the world wherever you have a client or wherever there is an expat, you have an opportunity to engage with that client in a far, far better way than we ever thought possible before COVID. It is really up to you to decide how far you want to take this. Hopefully these reasons are compelling, and those of you who have not made the change, I hope that you are ready to start. From my side, I would like to give you a few tips based on my own realization and learning over the last 18 months. By no means am I perfect, and I know I can always get better, but I hope I can at least shed some light from my experiences. And I'm sure that many of you can identify, that if an old dog like me with 31 years service can actually change and adapt, any one of you can. I think that's the most important thing. I'm going to share with you just one small little insight. I have a lot of responsibility and accountability for some dealings in some of our offshore operations in the capacity of my environment that I work in. And one of the main things that was so funny to actually realize that before COVID, I would engage using Webex, speaking to my colleagues in Munich or Frankfurt or wherever in the world, using Webex. So we would be using technology daily. But what was absolutely mind-blowing looking back was that I would be asked to be in Cape Town, or be in Bloemfontein, or be in PE. 5 minutes after I got off a call 11,000 kilometers away. But it never dawned on me that I can actually just set up an appointment tomorrow or the day after tomorrow and using Zoom or Teams, because that has been with us for many, many, many years. We just didn't use it that way. So I had that mindset that it was perfectly fine to use it because I'm 11,000 kilometers away. I never ever gave it thought, and that might just be me, that I can do exactly the same thing with my colleagues in Cape Town, my colleagues in Durban, my colleagues in Bloemfontein as I messaged. So what did my experience show me in the last 18 months? I've split my tips into 3 points of things that I really think hopefully you will benefit from. And what I truly believe, and my request to you this afternoon, is that if you can just take one thing out of what I share with you today, I think this discussion is worthwhile, because I'm extremely proud to be part of the financial services industry. And the one thing, ladies and gentlemen, that I just want to absolutely reiterate this afternoon is where we all salute healthcare professionals, where I think for the first time in history, doctors, nurses are really, really valued for what they are, working in very, very difficult conditions worldwide. But ladies and gentlemen, we as financial advisors are the healthcare individuals from a financial services perspective. That I truly believe, because death is far more around us than ever before. Death has no age limit. Sadly, all of us experience sorrow. Sadly, all of us know after 18 months of this terrible pandemic of somebody who had trauma, who sadly went through this environment. But ladies and gentlemen, that means they need us. We as financial advisors can play such a pivotal role in people's lives. And I think this is what absolutely excites me of the industry that we're in. I've seen a lot over the 30-year period, and I've experienced many, many things. Nothing touched what I saw in the last 18 months. But what I have seen is the fundamental role and the importance that a financial advisor that is worth his salt plays in the lives of families out there. And that should make you proud. And that's why I want to encourage you to embrace, as I mentioned before, and be ready for what is expected in the next month, year, and years to come. So first and foremost, invest. Invest in yourself, invest in your practice. Time, money, and energy. There are a few things worse than having a meeting with someone who has a bad sound on his screen. When you speak to people, it sounds hollow. When you speak to somebody, you very often see it. And I had it. It took me a while to get used to this, bad lighting. You'll laugh, you sit in the dark. It's just sort of seeing a dark face on the screen because you don't realize, turn the screen in a different direction. Using no background, not making sure that you're feeling comfortable. or you disappear in that virtual background. So to set up a virtual office, you need a few simple things. A good camera, and sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, this sounds funny, sometimes it's just cleaning your little camera lens on your desktop or on your notepad or notebook. Have a nice microphone, some good lighting, because at the end of the day, this is what makes the difference. I think the most important thing that I learned is that there are so many professional backgrounds that we can use online. You can just download it and it's for free. And I'm sure that Fairbairn Consult also will develop you a wonderful background that you can proudly display that you are a Fairbairn Consult advisor. Your virtual office is part of your brand, and this is the important thing. Getting dressed, feeling happy, being there for your client, be there on time, those are all certain things that we need to do. But a client must feel safe in your hands. In the old days, and I'm talking many years ago, 30 years ago, it was completely stock standard. We had to wear a jacket, a tie, and we had to wear a suit in most instances. When I was a young advisor, my manager took me, in actual fact, to buy a suit because he said the way you look just does not look right. So he took me to a tailor. I remember that vividly in Sunnyside in Pretoria. And he made me buy a suit, 2 shirts or 3 shirts, so that I wash one every second day, and a few ties, because I didn't have any dress sense. But if you were an investment advisor, think about this, and you showed up at your client with jeans and a t-shirt, because you feel relaxed, the chances of you walking out with his life savings is slim. I truly believe that is slim. Now apply that same theory to your virtual office and make sure that you've got a professional setup. How do you do that? You practice. You look at yourself. That's something that some of us find very easy to do, to look at yourself, to smile, to comb your hair, and to practice your smile. But you've got to have a professional setup and embrace it by speaking to your colleagues, phoning a friend, using the technology, be it Zoom, Teams, or whatever virtual means you actually elect to do. Number 2, you've got to plan, practice, and review. Many of you will laugh. Some of you that are attending today might have been a colleague of mine many years ago. You will remember the old fishbowl exercises. You will remember that we had those role plays, those dreaded role plays with our managers at the time. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, that made us strong. That gave us the ability to feel confident in front of clients, because that's when the chips are down, remember? And here, there's a wonderful opportunity to embrace it in a completely different way. A slick virtual operation. It doesn't happen by accident. It happens through intentional planning. How will you spend your time? When in the day are you going to schedule appointments? Are you going to do reviews? Is it a first appointment? Is it a second appointment? Is it a combination? You need to study. And you know what? We can complete the dreaded compliance, but never ever forget that compliance is our friend. That protects us when a client says that the advice we gave was not correct. And that's why it's so important that it's a combination of all. It's a combination of product knowledge. It's a combination of ensuring that you give the right advice. It's a combination of using compliance to protect you, ladies and gentlemen. This is critical for an efficient business and fit for growth. If you just think about it today, by planning your day, planning your strategy for what you cover in the first, second, and third meeting, and how you will communicate with your clients, and how will you do follow-up, and how do you do that? Creating checklists, talking points, and processes. Don't shoot in the dark. I've learned so many things. I said it when I started. Not for 1 second do I profess to know everything. But I've got one amazing advantage, I think, in the role that I fulfill in the organization that I work for. And that I've had the privilege, first and foremost in my career, to deal with thousands of advisors, independent financial advisors, and tied intermediaries. I've had the privilege of seeing the best of the best, legends in the industry, people that have been absolutely successful for year after year after year, doing it for 40 and 45 years. Amazing. I always aspired to be one of those. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, the one thing that made those people perfect was the fact that they can adapt, the fact that they are resilient, and the fact that they are never, ever, ever complacent. They are always ready to learn. They don't shoot in the dark. They make it sound easy. I can mention names, which I won't be mentioning today, but hopefully we will have some interaction in our breakaway sessions after today's wonderful seminar that has been put together for you. But I think we need to unpack that because, if you look at the history, we can learn from it. And things have just changed slightly. But you see, the practice and practicing more and practicing some more. And how do you do that? You schedule time with friends and family and you get them to give you feedback. Then implement and try. I think that's the important thing. Try and try again. You will never be perfect the first time. And all of us feel a little bit unconscious. I feel a bit unconscious this afternoon, sitting, speaking to you on a screen. I wish I was there. I wish we could touch each other. I wish we could be together. I wish we could have a function tonight, like the good old days. I think it is important that we understand that we can have the best of two worlds, and it's here to stay. I said it before. I want to reiterate it again. It is here to stay, and there's no doubt in my mind that you, ladies and gentlemen, that embrace this, and I want to really, really offer our assistance as people that have been in the industry for many, many years to share our experiences, because that's where we will learn from past experiences how to adapt in a new world, in a new time, in a new era. My third point is stay the course. It may feel unnatural. It may feel awkward. And you may want to give up. But I'm begging you, please listen to me today. Don't. Stay motivated. It does work. Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen this work with young advisors I mentioned, and I've seen this work with people that thought their career is over, that they will never adapt. I've seen people who embrace this and do it in a combination. I've seen people embrace this and only work virtual, who have built amazing practices on a virtual basis. So I'm not here to tell you, you have to go virtual. I'm saying be competent to do it virtual. Be competent to do it face-to-face. Be competent to do it as a hybrid. But I might agree with you. Sometimes a client wants to see you face-to-face. But you know what? We need to do a review of their portfolio. You want to be that preferred advisor. How do you do that? By saving time. If you know Pretoria and Joburg, they are 45 minutes with no traffic apart. Perhaps a little bit less, 30 minutes apart. In traffic time, before COVID, it would take you 2 hours from Centurion to Joburg. It would take you 2 hours back in the afternoon. Today, you have the ability, if you have a 30-minute review and a 15-minute break in between, you can see 6 people in the time that you would have spent in the car from Centurion to Sandton back with a 15-minute break in between, if my math is correct. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it will take some work and dedication, but remember that you need to be invested and take the time to make this work. I wish you only success. I hope you've got a wonderful, wonderful day. Today I saw that there are some amazing speakers. And I really just wish you all the best with the virtual journey. Good luck, and absolutely just try it. And I'm looking forward to the session, the breakaway session. I will be attending that myself. I would truly like to invite you that we spend some time together with some of our highly competent trainers that will be able to introduce you to the journey that we experience, and hopefully we can add some value in your practice. I wish you all the best. May you have a wonderful day, and thank you once again for the invite and the opportunity to spend a few minutes with you today. All the best, ladies and gentlemen, and looking forward to meet you face to face when the time is right. Goodbye.